So you're moving your family to Dallas, Texas. Whether you're moving from across the state or across this great country of ours, it's a big responsibility to make sure that when your family gets here, they're happy and well adjusted. Well, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're doing the research on that important decision that you have upcoming. Honestly, we have helped hundreds of families much like yourself relocate to Dallas. And in this episode, we're going to uncover the top 5 reasons why those families felt moving to Dallas, Texas was the absolute perfect decision. And we're getting after it right now. Hello, my name is Missy with the Live in Dallas, Texas team, your top relocation team here in Dallas, Texas. Whether this is your first time to the channel or you've been here numerous times, welcome or welcome back. While you're here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you're notified every time there's a new video added to the channel. Honestly, we get calls, texts, and emails from people like yourself that are relocating here to Dallas, Texas, and we love it. We love to help you with this very important decision and all the parts and pieces that go into your relocation. What we'd love for you to do is reach out days, nights, or weekends. We can be reached via text, via call, via email with any and all questions. So in this episode, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons why relocating families to Dallas, Texas is an excellent idea and helps with that adjustment period. So let's get started. Let's talk about number 1. And number 1 is going to be the people. And let me give you a little background. Texas is often coined as the friendly state. And there's been numerous articles that talk about how native Texans are some of the most authentic, genuine, and friendly people that you'll ever meet. Well, I'm a native and I'm here to tell you that that's absolutely true. We welcome all with open arms and open hearts. But let's take it back for just a minute. So when you heard that you were being relocated to Texas, or that was a possibility, did a mental image of what people from Texas look like pop up in your head? Did we all arrive on horseback with 10-gallon hats? Or were we more of the New York City model where everybody was perfectly propped with their hair and their makeup and their jewelry and their bright clothes? Well, regardless of what that is, I will tell you, you'll find a little bit of all of it depending on where you are. But the one thing that runs true, no matter what that mental image is going to be the friendliness of the people. Now that would be an utmost concern for me relocating to any state. How is the family going to adjust? Will they be welcomed or will they feel like an outsider? Just a huge concern. So I would say that I can compare my experiences as we travel to other states, and then when we come back to Texas, to kind of give you some comparisons. Now, I'm not going to throw out any particular state out there and how we feel as we visit those areas, but I will tell you that it's always nice to be back home. There's a definite change of air and change of how you are greeted when you walk into places. Here, it's often you can walk into any retail establishment, people are going to stop what they're doing and they're going to look up. They're going to give you eye contact, a friendly and warm smile, and probably a howdy or a hello. It's a very, we just want to know you. We want to know the people and we want to be surrounded by people that are also happy to be here. When we go to other states, they often get a different look and a turn of heads whenever I go in because I've never met a stranger. So when I say, hey, howdy, how are you? And I smile and I give them eye contact, sometimes it's a little awkward, but here it's certainly not awkward. We just embrace it with everything that we are. And I think that's what really earned us that spot as one of the friendliest states out there. Again, it's going to be very easy for you to adjust moving your whole family to not only a new state, but a whole new culture of people and how we do things probably be just a little bit different than where you're from. Maybe it goes back hundreds of thousands of years. Maybe when the Hispanic population came in and it was Tejas, right? Land of the friendly people. And we've just kind of kept that culture going year over year. But I would tell you, if I were in your shoes and I was moving and relocating my entire family to the Dallas, Texas area, I would not have a concern, one, that we wouldn't be welcomed but with the friendly and outgoing people, which will make your life a whole lot easier and your experience here in Texas a whole lot better. You know, at times like these, I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest lesson we can learn is from the young children. Have you ever been to a playground and you said, "Go play, kids," and you sat on the picnic bench? Did the children care if they knew the other children playing at the playground or not? Of course they don't. They're instant friends. They're running around, they're playing chase, they're swinging, they're going down the slides. And I think we can all take a lesson from that. They don't care. Those kids don't care if you're tall or you're short, or if you're from New Jersey, or you're from Florida, or you're from California. They are there with a common interest. They're there to play and get to know each other and have a great time. And that's how we all should be. And that's how I really think that Texas is as a whole, as far as the people are concerned. You know, our neighborhoods do a really fantastic job of welcoming new people to the neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you came from the city next door, if you came from another state, you're still gonna be welcomed. It's also one of those places that you can go next door and borrow a cup of milk, or ask them to pick up your mail while you're on vacation, or just kind of look after one another in case they see something odd going on the street, or in case there's a dog that goes missing. We always have eyeballs out there to help one another become the very best culture and community that we can. And that really just sums up Texas and Texans as a whole, and the people that live in this fine state and the area of Dallas, Texas and surrounding cities. And for those reasons, I think that you would be doing your family a wonderful service to move here to the state, and your acclimation period should be extremely short and probably one of the best decisions you've ever made. So the people, huge thumbs up in making relocation to Dallas an easy one. All right, let's talk about number 2, the second reason why relocating your family to Dallas, Texas is a wise one, and that's gonna be affordability. So when we talk about affordability, there would be nothing more stressful than moving to an area that is more costly than where you currently live without either a raise or cost of living adjustment. So here, when we talk about affordability, I want to talk about the price of gas, groceries, housing, and taxes. Okay. So if we go back to number 1 and talk about gas prices. Now, when we travel to other states, especially the ones on the extreme east and west coasts, we know that the gas prices per gallon is substantially higher due to the taxes placed on the gasoline in those states. So here, although there's absolutely no gas price in the United States that's cheap, I will say that we're typically 75 cents to $1 cheaper per gallon than, again, those states that are have a higher tax on gas. So again, although not inexpensive, and you do need a car, so you will need to be filling up, it is less expensive per gallon of gas than a lot of the other states. Groceries. I've also noticed that when we go to other states and we travel, the cost of going out and the cost of even down to bread and milk is substantially higher in other locations. They also do a really good job here of locally sourced produce. So you can get pretty decent prices on a lot of the produce that you would find grown here in the state. So as we continue our discussion about affordability in Dallas, Texas, and why this is such an easy place to grow to love really quickly, let's talk about that in relationship to housing. Of course, that's going to be weighing heavy on your mind as you move your family from one state to another. When we help other families relocate to Dallas, what we hear more times than not is, wow, they can't believe that the newness of construction, the affordability of how much size they're getting for the dollar. They're also getting something that is far more energy efficient, since the homes are, generally speaking, much newer as far as age of the home is concerned, and a little bit more space between neighbors. Now, I will tell you, as we talk about homes and picking the right place, We have affordable options from, I would say, the $300,000 range up to $30 million. So it depends on where your budget is. The best way to proceed with that is to talk to a mortgage professional so they can look at all of your financials and determine where your best budget would be. Once we learn that, we can go to work helping you. I would say we need to know your commute time, and is school important? So we can help you find your family the best school district. What other amenities, local, nearby, in your back door are you looking for? And then we'll match that with a budget to come up with the best 2 or 3 communities to go and look at. From there, I am positive that you will be impressed with the options that you have to choose from. Now let's talk about property taxes. Here in Texas, we do have property taxes. We don't have state income taxes. Now, does that balance? It's hard to say, right? Because it's an income based on your state income tax. So we don't have that. But let me talk about how your property taxes are calculated. Depending on the area that you choose, your tax rate could change from 2% up to 3.25% of evaluated home value. And that's going to be set by the county. So once you have that, you're able to calculate what your annual taxes would be, less any exemptions. So here you'll get a homeowner's exemption. You'll also be able to qualify for a number of other exemptions depending on, are you a veteran? Are you a senior? There's a lot of them you could apply for, and any of them that you receive, then you would get a reduction of the property tax. Considering property taxes and all, it is definitely an affordable place to call home, spread out, let everybody enjoy their new space, meet your neighbors, or maybe your neighbors are cows and horses. We have that too. A lot of different variety depending on exactly what you're looking for. Now, how are we supposed to know what that is? We'll make a list. Start jotting down while you're thinking about the relocation. Every time you think of something you'd like to have in your new home and your new area, write that down. And when you get that list 70 to 80% complete, send it on over. Again, you can reach us either via text, via call, or via email. Once we have that, we can go to work for you and start getting you some options when it talks about housing here in Texas. But rest assured, affordability is up there. Number 3, this one, I hope you're sitting down, Mexican food and barbecue. You guys, we have an amazing food scene here. So when you're talking about Mexican food, be that authentic or Tex-Mex, and you're talking about barbecue, be that beef or pork, you will not go hungry here. Now you can go into your neighborhood spot where you just kind of plop down next to your neighbor at a big picnic bench and have a taco. Or you can go into one of our fine dining establishments and have the finest taco you've ever had. So regardless of what you're looking for, the food scene here is incredible. Now, maybe you want to learn. Maybe you want to learn how to make those authentic Mexican dishes. Or maybe you want to be the next great Bobby Flay. Well, the food kind of goes hand in hand with the entertainment. You are never bored here. And it might seem like it on the surface, right? It's like Texas, Dallas, business, I'm not a cowboy, what am I gonna do? Wrong. We have everything from your national sports teams to some of the best arts and theater that you could find from coast to coast. So when you find out what you're looking to do, I can almost bet you your social calendar is going to be more full than you ever thought of. And if you really don't have anything, or you just kind of want to call it easy at home, the neighborhoods pick up where you don't have to go further than the neighborhood park to have a concert in the garden, to have some good old family fun at the picnic or the carnival or the festival that's right there in your backyard. So something for everybody right here. All you have to do is get engaged and you will meet people, some, if you're like me, some of the best friends that you ever met. I'll tell you, and I think I've mentioned it before on these videos, when we moved into our current neighborhood, we didn't know anybody. And now we have upwards of 10 to a dozen friends right here in our own subdivision that we wouldn't have met otherwise. But it was because of those concerts on Friday nights that we grew our social circle. And it's because a lot of us got together that had a common interest. And now we get together and we have socials all the time. We can go on vacations with each other. Our kids know each other. We watch after each other's dogs and houses. We take our local golf carts and we go from house to house. So, and did I mention when we go from house to house, all of these neighbors, they're from all over the country. So when I go back to the original thing about Mexican food and barbecue, we are getting an education from these neighbors as they prepare their delicacies from where they come from. So now I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be somebody that absolutely loved German food. But I tell you, my best friend makes some of the best I've ever had. So it's all about growth and being open to the possibility, which is definitely here for you for the taking, as long as you're a willing participant. So when you're talking about number 3 with that food scene and activities, you certainly have plenty of options here. Number 4 we're going to talk about is opportunities. And specifically, let's talk about the opportunities that the Dallas, Texas area affords the children. So I raised 2 boys here in the Dallas, Texas area, and they were both as different as night and day. The first one was all about the sports. There wasn't a single sport he did not like, but he really did settle in on 2 specifically. One of them, ice hockey, and the second one, lacrosse. So ice hockey, he was a very determined and driven child and was competing at a very high level. We were able to find the best of the best coaches and ice time and facilities and teams that enabled him to grow as a travel hockey player. Then when he decided that his size was going to be an issue, he decided to cross over to lacrosse, and we found the same amenities for him here. So top-notch coaches from all over the world, as well as opportunities to travel with the team and compete for future scholarships in college. So that was what he was looking for. That was the opportunity that this area afforded him. Now, my other child was more into the horses and rodeo and all things arts, and not from a competitive or driven standpoint, but just from a camaraderie and enjoyment standpoint. And he did it because it made him happy, and that was here as well, and had that opportunity. So wherever your children lie, be that in the arts, the sports, the culinary, the education, the higher education, we have lots of colleges nearby, private schools, public schools, whatever the interest is, this area is chock full of opportunities. So if you have something that really moves the needle for your family, if you go, I can't move here unless my children have access to ABC, let us know. Reach out. I'll be the first to do the research for you and get you connected so that the children have a seamless transition here to Dallas. Okay, rounding out our top 5 reasons why it would be a great place to move your family is going to be all about the weather. We have so many of days of beautiful sunshiny weather. If you don't want to have to bring a coat, more than likely you won't need one. If you can put on a sweatshirt and walk a little faster in a couple of cool months out of the year, you're going to be in absolute heaven. If your absolute favorite footwear is the flip-flop, it's going to work here. Get a dozen of them. You'll need them all. So let's talk about it specifically. Now, with the sunshine comes some warmer temperatures in the summertime. That is absolutely true. But if I go and look at the year-round calendar, we have 9 to 10 months of absolutely gorgeous weather. I haven't shoveled snow in my driveway, not one time. So if you are used to the snow, you're not going to find that here. We might have a fluke snowstorm or ice storm every other year, would probably be a stretch. We may have 2 years in a row and then not have 2 or 3 years in a row. But if we do, it's going to come in quick and it's going to melt and go away just as quick. And if that does happen, the kids are going to get a snow day from school, and that's going to make them happy, happy campers. But the rest of the time, you can certainly get outside and enjoy everything that the outdoors affords you. think that also adds to that friendliness here, because you can get out, you can get that vitamin D, and you can play outside. Splash around in the pools during the summer, which a pool here is not a bad investment because you will be in it from May all the way through September most years. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Get out on the lakes. You can do the sea-doos, right? Or recreational boating, or just in your neighborhood watering hole. All of those things are an option. My husband and I were big golfers, so we can golf 9 months out of the year without any issue. Now, what about those other 3 months? So I would say one of them, we might not be out golfing because it might get a little warm in the late August to early September month. And then the weather can be a little windy and a little cool towards the end of December, January, February. February is usually our coolest month of the year. If we're gonna have that brief snow or that brief ice, more than likely it's going to happen in February. But once the spring arrives, you've got easy sailing all the way through November and into December. So if you are outdoorsy, this is a fantastic place to live. If you don't like to wear a coat, great place to live. If you love being in a tank top and shorts and flip-flops, oh yeah, another great reason to move to Dallas, Texas. So weather, it's gonna get a thumbs up in my book, and I hope it will for you too. So I hope this video has laid a little bit of your concern to rest when it comes to relocating a family here to Dallas, Texas. If you are looking for some of the friendliest people that you'll find in one of the most affordable places to live, where Mexican food and barbecue are plentiful, as well as the activities on your social calendar, and where kids can do anything that makes their heart content and grows them as little future adults, with wonderful weather to enjoy all of those things in, then Texas and Dallas specifically and surrounding areas would be a fantastic choice. What my team and I would love to do is meet you. We would love to get to know you via text, via call, via email. We could Zoom or get to know you in person, but reach out. On our screen, you will see our text, our phone number, and our email address. So put together a list of everything you're looking for and all of those burning questions, and we're happy to answer them for you. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you're notified every time we add a new video to the channel. We look forward to meeting you soon and making Dallas, Texas your new home. See you soon.